Yo.
Hey, do you want a coffee or something exciting?
No, I'm good.
Hmm?
I'm alright, thanks. How's your day going?
Good. Great. Just had a couple of appointments this morning, so it's been busy but nice. Favorite part of my job is definitely dealing with clients.
In your own words, how would you describe what it is that you do?
Honestly, I am a mortgage guider, I think is better than advisor.
Yeah.
So I, kind of as we talked about before, my big focus is the first home buyers. I do deal with everybody. However, I find that your first home buyers are in this generally space and time where they want to do a lot of stuff on their own but don't really know where to start.
Yeah.
So it's all about saying, not here's 500 grand, go out and buy a house, and then kind of leaving them to guess. It's spending the time to learn about each individual person and what their goals are and how they like to live. That's really important too. Include all of that sort of stuff to make sure that those things that are important to you are still incorporated, and you don't find yourself getting to that stage thinking, crap, I can't afford this thing that was super important to me because I've now got this debt that I have to make payments on. So it's not, so there's a big part of my job focuses on that, and the other part of it is there's this misconception that if you can afford the minimum loan repayments, you can afford a mortgage. And people often forget the regular extra expenses that come with that, like your house insurance and your rates bills, and allowing for maintenance, because if there is a leak in the side of your house, your landlord's not going to cover it anymore because you now own that asset. So it's making sure that all of those sort of boxes are ticked so you don't find yourself up the creek without a paddle, I think is.
You elaborate a little bit about that home buyer's journey?
Well, the first part of that, kind of talking about what life looks like after, is generally, and this is a generalization, but the standard lifespan of you living in a property is 7 years. And
really?
So if you look at how your life changes in a 7-year period, you go from, say you've got first home buyers that are early 20s, and then in 7 years they're kind of maybe around about 30, they might have a child, they've got a wedding, things change. So you go first small property, and then you need land so you've got space for your kids to sort of play around, and then they hit that kind of 10-year-old age where your kids don't really play outside very much anymore, so you kind of get a bigger home because they need more space.
Yeah.
They're watching other people play games on YouTube. So then they might not need a lawn, but they probably need an extra bedroom, and then your kids kind of move out of home, and then you're down to just a couple. You might want a property that suits your grandkids. You might want a property that is more convenient to your lifestyle because you're not having to think about your own children anymore. And so it tends to be 7 years. There's this mindset of, I need everything right now because I'm never going to buy another house. And that's not true. I've had about 5 first houses myself, and I know that there are lots of people that kind of, forever homes, that kind of go through that. So it's important to get on the property market, but also to be realistic.
I guess sometimes we can be so focused on getting the house, but then what does life with the house look like? What does my life look like in however many years? What does life look like when travel's a thing again,
Yeah, I mean, I'll be out of the country as soon as possible.
Don't hold your breath.
I'm not. But also the long-term plan too. So I've got first home buyers who are already thinking, my goal is to have an investment portfolio.
Yeah.
So right from the get-go, how are we going to make that happen? And I'm a big believer of 9.5 times even out of 10, no is not the outcome. So sometimes we have not yet, but we don't ever have no. So if I have a application and the bank comes back with a decline, I don't say, hey, you've declined, go away. We sit down and have a plan of action on how we're going to get you to the place where it becomes a yes. So if I said to you, what is your financial goal in 5 years? Most people will have a really quick answer. It'll be, I'd like to start getting an investment property. I want to have kids, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
But the reality of how they're going to get there, people don't think about. They just think about the end goal and not the steps to get there. And that's where I come in, is, okay, great, this is the goal. It's an amazing goal. These are the things we need to get through in order to hit that. And we put a plan in place. And if the client wants to do that plan, that's awesome. If the client decides not to, that's ball's kind of in their court. But if we have a way where we can make that happen.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that when it comes to mortgage brokers, because when people think of mortgage brokers, like, you're the person that helps me get the lending, buy the house, see you later. But it sounds like you're more like, right, let's take a step back here and let's think about what are we doing here.
The property cap.
Yeah.
And first home buyers are whether it's because it's there, I'm not 100% sure, but they have a really big reliance on that KiwiSaver grant.
Yes.
And unfortunately, like if you look at new builds, you've got a couple or two people who have been in KiwiSaver for over 5 years each, and they're building a property. They can get $20,000 from the government, which is amazing, but they have to be under 550k. So the minute they look to go over,
it hamstrings them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, I see that now. And man, talking and
reversing,
multitasking. But no, thanks again, Michelle, and we'll keep an eye out. I think might need to get you back to talk about once all the announcements have been solidified, and talk about all that stuff as well.
All the investment stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
a whole other...
I reckon we fill the car for that.
Yep.